Hey everybody, welcome back. If you're returning, thank you for coming. And if you're new, my name is Casey and this is my channel where I talk about cross stitching. Today's video is going to be called the Flosstube Extra because I will be doing my WIP parade. And if you don't know what that is, it is just a video where we show all the projects that we have, even if we haven't worked on them in a while. I'm not going to show like my monthly progress like I usually do. I think I will point it out if I worked on it this past month. But I actually didn't take any notes on that, so I might not remember all of them. But yeah. I'm gonna be going in order from oldest WIP to newest WIP. And yeah. And then at the end I will talk about my plans for 2022. So we'll just get started. The first pattern, if I'm looking down, I have notes of the names of each pattern. Also, let me say, I started my Flosstube channel in January, so I'm almost at a year. And when I started, I had only like 5 or 6 patterns going, and now I have, let me see. So I went from 5 or 6 to 22 patterns, WIPs. So for those 5 or 6, I will include a what it looked like last year photo. But the rest are all new starts this year, so you won't get to see a before photo. So the first pattern is called Winnie the Pooh, and it's by Love My Stitch on Etsy, which I don't think is around anymore, but you can check if you want. I started this in April of 2021, and I'll show you a before photo. I think all I had was Winnie the Pooh's head. And this is on 18 count Ada. I don't iron any of these until I'm done, and for pretty much almost all of my projects, I tape the edges. So if that bothers you, I'm sorry. I haven't really worked on this one a whole lot this year. Yeah, I think next I'm going to focus on the smaller images. Like right here, there's a Tigger, and I think it's a table with other characters. I just want to make sure it's going to look good before I spend too much more time on this, because obviously the big image looks good. But I want to make sure the smaller ones are good as well. The next pattern is called Winter Lane from Cross Stitch Collectibles. I started this in December of 2021. Oh wait, that doesn't make sense. Yeah, the Winnie the Pooh I started in April of 2020. And the Winter Lane I started December 2020. And I had this one in my video last year as well. So I'll show the before photo, which is not very much difference, but it's okay. 18 count Ada as well. The next one is called Football by MysticStitch.com. And I have a before photo for this one. Very, very little progress. But I did do a little bit, and that was really in the last month that I actually worked on it this year. But this is it. So for the first handful of WIPs, I don't know the exact start date, I just know the month I started it in. But as we get further into the projects, I started to write the actual start date. The next one I've actually never shown on this channel, but I decided I might as well. It is called A Good Marriage by Lizzie Kate, and this is the cover photo. I'll also insert cover photos for all of them, but this one is paper pattern, so I already have it. Just a quote. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this pattern when it's done. I might gift it or I might keep it for myself. Or I might make it twice. But I changed the colors for this one and you'll see what they are when I pull it out. This one I started January 2021. So the last 3 ones I just showed were 2020. I might have said the wrong year. But now we're into 2021 starts. I feel like I'm around halfway done. But as you see the blank spots, I am doing that last because I'm not sure what color I want to do. But yeah, I changed the colors. I will probably be able to finish this one this year or next year, 2022, if I put the time into it, but it's not that much more. This one is called Epic Pokemon, and it's a free pattern from lordlibadon.com. I started this one in February of 2021. And this is where it is. This pattern will be for my fiance. And I have not worked on this since the last video. Next pattern is called Sounds of the Season, and it's a Heaven and Earth Designs by Critter Valley. Very little done on this. There's a lot of confetti in the green, so that's been making it harder to work on. But it's a chipmunk, and yeah. My favorite animals are squirrels, and chipmunks look just like squirrels, so I like chipmunks too. I think this one is on, I'm not sure what it's on, but it's maybe 22 or 30, 20, I don't know. Next one is a Heaven and Earth Design by Donna Gelsinger. It's called Mini Sunflower Cottage. And I started it April 11th, 2021, and it's almost 50%. I worked on it recently, and I know I worked, let me see, I think I worked over here filling it in a little, and some of this house. This is another one that could get finished this next year if I work on it enough. Next is called BellaFilipina by Bellatrix by BellaFilipina. I didn't bring my cover photo over, but I'll try to insert it. This one is going to be from my friend. This is where I'm at. Any like random spots that are empty either need karnic or beads, but I'm enjoying this one and started on her hair, which is cool. Next, I started on April 21st, 2021. It is called Joshua Tree National Park, and it's from Awesome Pattern Studio on Etsy. I think this one is around 25% done maybe, but it's not too big, so another one that could be finished if I work on it enough. Next is called Haunted House by Stitching Jewels on Etsy. Started this May 26th, 2021. And this is all I have. It's a monochromatic piece. And I've done one of hers before, which I'll insert a photo of a pattern I did finish this year from Stitching Jewels, and it was just called Squirrel. but it was the same style as this one. Because I had that in my first video, that pattern. Next is called San Francisco Golden Gate from artisty.com. I started this one on May 13th, 2021. And I worked on this in December, so I'll insert where it was before. But San Francisco is one of my favorite cities, so that's why I decided to do this pattern. I believe it's on 22 count, Ada. I think. The next one is called Cat by Lola Lotta Shop on Etsy. And a very little done, but it reminds me of my cat Wally very much, because in the photo the cat is knocking over a cup of coffee or something, and my cat loves to knock stuff down when he wants something like food. He literally tries to knock glass off the counter, and I'm like, are you serious? Next is called Cirque de Queries by Ink Circles. And I know the fabric, it's 32 count, so I got even weave, stitching it 2/2. And the color I'm using is 3808. Pretty sure I worked on this in December, so I'll show a before photo. But I really like this one, and I'm confident I will finish this in 2022, hopefully. And then I'll start another pattern from Ink Circles after I finish it. Next is called Snow Much in Love. It's a mini from Hade, which is Heaven and Earth Designs. I started it, oh yeah, the Cirque de Queries I started July 1st, 2021, but I have it a little out of order. This next one I started June 29th, so a few days earlier. Yeah. I don't have a whole lot to say. This fabric from last year, I got rid of one product I was working on, and I can insert a photo in case you want to know what it was, but it was a Christmas tree photo I had gotten off Etsy, and as soon as I got over to the Christmas tree part, I realized the massive amount of confetti, and I just no longer wanted to do it anymore. I don't think it was probably, the pattern was created very well with that much confetti. Like, very many colors had one color in a very large area, so I did not want to switch after one stitch for every color. So this is the fabric that was, I cut it off, threw it away. So I did the snowman one on this one. Next is called Heaven's Window by Andy Russell. This one is on 32 count. 1/1. Smallest I've worked on, so I don't work on it a whole lot. I recently was thinking that maybe I'll just restart it. I don't know if I will, but I know I would enjoy it more if it was bigger, and I only have this much done. And the whole top part pretty much is one color, the sky. So I'm trying to just go back and forth between the sky and the land. But maybe I will restart it, because 32 count, that's just way too tiny. 1/1 at least. And I have a lot of other patterns I could use this fabric for, so we'll see what happens. Next is called Tranquil Tulip. It's a quick stitch on Hade from Hannah Disney. I started it on September 5th of this year. I'm no longer going to say 2021, because they're all from this year. I haven't worked on it in a few months, I think, but it would not take long to finish. Oops, sorry for the major creases. But yeah, that's it about this. 14 count. I really started this one because I had this 14 count just laying around that I was gifted from somebody, and I was like, ooh, that'll fit, so I started it. Next is called Marion Bright by Donna Gelsinger on Hade. It is on 28 count, 1/1. Not as bad as 32 count, but it's like borderline too small. But this pattern is huge, so I don't want to go up in size on the stitches. And this is just the wreath. There's a lot of confetti. I recently joined on Facebook the Heaven and Earth Designs group. And I noticed, I started to search like the patterns I have to see people's posts of them. A lot of people mainly stitched the mini version, but I mean, I compared the different sizes when I bought this, and the regular size is the quality that I liked the most, so I'm just gonna push through with the confetti. I really thought this would be my focus for next year, but I just know with the confetti, I feel like I'd get burnt out. But I'm still gonna work on it. You'll see which one is my focus for next year. If I didn't say, I started that September 21st. And then only 6 days later, I started another one. So all throughout the year, I was like starting stuff. The next one is called Believe by Sue Miller on Hade. And I'm stitching this one on 18 count. And I was surprised that I like this. It's normally not the style that I would go for, like the Santa Claus, how he looks. But then I saw someone stitching it, and I just knew I needed to start it too. I worked on this one recently, like around Christmas, because I was like, which Christmas one do I want to stitch on around Christmas? So I knew this one would be easy on the mind, not as like there's not a lot of confetti, and it's on 18 count, so that's why I stitched on that one. So the next one is called Mount Cabin Home by Dominic Davison. And it's on 18 count. Ada started this one on my birthday, which was October 21st. And I have been working on this one regularly since I started it. I just this morning reached 2.5%. The percent goes by slowly, so I take a photo each %. And if you have me on Instagram, every % or %, or if it's the smaller ones, I'll wait until it's every 5%. I post a photo on my story, and I also save it to like my profile stories. So when I'm done, I'll have all those photos of each %. I can just click through and see the progress. So that's kind of interesting to watch it come together. But I'm really like, I'm just trying to finish the page. Like, I feel like I'm close, but I'm not close enough. But after that, I'm gonna randomly pick which page. It'll either be this one or this one I work on next. This one is mostly the ceiling, so this one I don't remember exactly what, but there's more than just one thing in it. But I'm really enjoying this one. It's on Opal as an Ada for no reason. I just ordered it by mistake. Next is called Evening, Max Color. If I bought this one again, now I would not do Max Color because it doesn't need it, but I'm not going to buy it again. So I'm sticking with Max Color. This I think was the first Heaven and Earth designs I bought, so I was like, ooh, I need to go all out. I need to get Max Color, but this pattern did not need it, I'm pretty sure. But it's by Leonid Afremov. I've restarted it 3 times, and I think I'm done restarting it. Now it is on 22 count 2/2. I started this one on November 11th. So the first time I started it, it was on 25 count, I think. I didn't like 2/2 or 1/1 on that fabric. So then I went to 18 count, and I was like, this is gonna be massive. I don't want this photo to be massive. So now I'm at 22 count, and it's good. And I'm just waiting until I can get to the colors. There's a little bit, but nothing really bright yet. Next is called Yosemite National Park by Awesome Pattern Studio. And this is on 14 count oatmeal Aida because it's what I had on hand. This is where it is. And then the next one I don't believe you've seen yet. I started it on December 7th, 2021. And it is called Sleeping Cat by Stitching Jewels on Etsy. Another monochromatic piece. Within this time frame, I pretty much bought 3 or 4 patterns impulsively, and this is only one of those I've actually started. But I believe this is the top. And this is another piece that looks like my cat Wally sleeping, so that's why I'm doing it. This is already like 5%, so these ones go pretty fast, which is why they're so tempting to start, because if you want to finish something, start a monochromatic. Smaller one, not a big one. This was my last one for this year. Pretty sure I won't start anymore before the 1st. But I still have a little bit more to talk about. My plans for 2022. So I'm trying to keep my plans more, I'm not gonna like hold myself to it. I'm gonna try to follow them. Normally I could, or I'm sure I would be able to follow the goals I made. But I'm just trying not to be strict with myself because I like to stitch what I want, when I want. But I wanted to also try to make some goals because this is my first year in Flosstube, like where I'm ending one year and going into the next, so I get to like see all the different challenges and stuff. So I'm in the Facebook group Full Coverage Fanatics, and I'm going to try to do the 22,000 stitches in 2022. And for that project that's going to be in that goal is Mount Cabin Home, which I'll just show you again. It's on 18 count Aida. I like the image, which is why I think I won't get burnt out on it. And there's just a lot of different things. Like, it's not like I'm just stitching brown for the whole pattern. It's gonna move into other things. So that's why I picked this pattern. It's not gonna be anywhere near finished. Even with those 22,000 stitches, I think it'll still be under 20% complete. Unless I go way past that goal, but I don't see that happening. But it'll help me make sure I make progress on these really huge pieces. And my other goals that I'm gonna have is that I am participating in WIP Go this year. This will be my first year. If you don't know what WIP Go is, it's basically like a bingo board. And it was created by Jessie Marie Does Stuff on Flosstube and Instagram. And it's a bingo board, and you can make goals in each box. And she calls out 2 boxes a month. And you can either do monthly goals or yearly goals. I'm doing monthly. So I'm gonna do monthly goals, and the goals will either be 1,000 stitches or 3 hours if it's a paper pattern, because I'm not gonna count my stitches for paper patterns. But if it's pattern keeper, it'll be 1,000 stitches. So since there's 2 called, that'll be like 2,000 stitches a month, plus stitching on the 22,000, which I have to get 1,834 stitches a month to keep up with that goal. So I'm sure I could pass like some months and get myself ahead. So with that, that's like 4,000, over 4,000. That's almost 5,000 stitches a month, which I know I can do easily, but this year I'm gonna be having a lot of life changes, and I have no idea what my time is gonna look like for stitching. So yeah, the reason my life is gonna be changing is because I'm pregnant, and I am due in April, towards the end of April. So for January, February, March, I'll have all the time in the world like I usually do. But as soon as April gets here, I don't know what my free time is gonna look like. This is my first kid, and I'm very excited and happy about it. But yeah, I've never been a mom before, so I don't know what my stitching time is gonna look like. I know I want to make time because that's what helps me relax, and yes, but I hope to keep stitching. Maybe I'll do videos every 2 months, I don't know, instead of every month. But that's why, so I might have 3 successful months and then 9 months that didn't work out. But it's okay. I wanted to be able to try to do these goals because last year I was barely learning about Flosstube and all these online things with cross stitching. So that's why. And that's it for plans. I want to start using my bullet journal more, which is what I've been looking at. This is my WIP go board. Oh yeah, let me explain it a little bit. I don't know if this is showing up backwards for you, the words. If it is, I'm sorry. But basically here, and here it says new start. And that is because for Christmas I was gifted gift cards for 1, 2, 3 Stitch. So, and even if I was gonna start more because I don't want to stop starting stuff yet. So yeah, I don't have any of those in hand yet. So if, for example, she already called for January, but if in February I don't have the new starts yet and the new start gets called, I will just randomly pick one of my current patterns and just have 2 months with that pattern instead. And I'll still start the new start. It just won't be part of WIP Go. What else? I think that's it. I want to figure out a way still, I mentioned it in my last video, to track my progress for each pattern in my book. I just need to figure out how I want to lay that out. But I do have some haul to show you guys, not a lot, but it was recently Christmas. I hope you guys had a great Christmas if you celebrate. I was gifted a couple things. First, like 2 gift cards to 1, 2, 3 Stitch, so I definitely went and used those already, just waiting for them to ship because it's holiday season, so it might take a little bit of time. But my mom gifted me these bags over here. Whoops, sorry for that noise. And they're just from Amazon. Let me see. I'm not sure the type of material, but it's plastic. Before this, I've only ever used Ziploc bags, and I was getting tired of it. And I'm just scared of my cats getting into it and ripping the plastic. Hopefully for this, they won't be able to. But these are the bigger sizes, I'm pretty sure. When I get more someday, I'll go for the smaller size, just to have some variety in the sizes because they're pretty big. But yeah, nothing crazy. I would love to have project bags, but I also don't want to spend the money. I'd rather spend the money on fabric and patterns. And then she also gifted me, let me find it. Also gifted me these. And if you don't know what these are, they're magnetic like bands. So this is how they come individual. So if you have a really big pattern with a lot of extra fabric, you can roll it up and clamp it on. And these basically help keep it rolled up. You can use these for Q-snap or hoop. Yeah, I just got these. I didn't use them a couple times already, and I like it for the big patterns at least, because I have a handful of those. And they weren't that expensive, maybe like $15 or less. And this is like a pack of at least 10, maybe 15. I don't even need that much, but if I lose them, at least I have leftovers. And then with the gift cards, I bought maybe like 4 to 6 new starts that I'm gonna have. And you will see those when I receive them. And then I also bought all of the beads and the garnick that I need for the fancy lady, I think is what people call them, for this one, because the only one I had so far was black Kreinik, and there's more than that I need. So since I had the gift card, I bought what I needed for this. What else? Oh yeah, I also bought something, but I'll show you that when it gets here. And yeah, I think that's all I have to talk about for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it's not as long as a lot of the WIP parades out there, but it adds some variety in the lengths of them. And I plan to be back at the end of January with my January progress. So I will see you guys then, and thank you for joining me. I hope that you guys have a great new year, and keep stitching. Bye.